The galaxy whispered about Earth long before I ever saw its soldiers. When the Carth Dominion attacked my world, they tore through our defenses like paper, burning our cities, enslaving our people, and chaining our minds with their cruel machines. For years, we prayed for deliverance. The Dominion was too vast, too ancient, too cruel. No one resisted them successfully, except for one backwater world on the fringe Earth. To us, it was a myth. A young species barely centuries into spaceflight, yet one that had repelled the Dominion more than once. Some called them saviors, others called them demons. All I knew was that our leaders begged them for help when the Carth came, and Earth answered the arrival. The day their ships emerged from the void is burned into my memory. Their fleet was nothing like the polished silver of Dominion warcraft or the crystalline elegance of Elvari cruisers. Earth's warships were brutal things of black steel bristling with cannons radiating menace. Their flagship blotted out the sun as it entered orbit. When they descended, they did not send diplomats. They sent soldiers. I was there. One of thousands of refugees herded into the central plaza when the Earthborn made their first landing. The Dominion guards had ringed the square, laughing at us, waiting to see if these so-called allies would be just another weak species to crush. The Earth shuttle came down hard, rattling the stone beneath our feet. Its ramp hissed open, and I saw them armored, their faces hidden behind visors that gleamed like the eyes of predators. They moved with a precision that made even the Dominion guards hesitate. Their commander stepped forward, pulling off his helmet. His skin was pale, his hair cropped short, and his eyes, cold, gray, merciless, swept over the square. He looked at us like a hunter assessing prey. Then he looked at the Dominion guards. "You hurt them," he said, his voice carrying unnaturally through the air. "You enslaved them. That ends today." The guards laughed until the humans struck. Monsters in the flesh. I had seen battles before. Our desperate resistance, dominion, punishments, raids between factions. But I had never seen what the humans did. They didn't fight like soldiers. They fought like predators. Where Dominion troops moved in formation, careful and mechanical, the humans were chaos, darting, lunging, striking from impossible angles. They ripped through armor with savage precision, their weapons screaming thunder and fire. I watched one human soldier tear a Dominion overseer from his exosuit with his bare hands. Another caught a plasma bolt on his armor, staggered, then laughed before charging forward again. We hid trembling as the plaza became a slaughterhouse. The Dominion forces actually broke and ran. I never thought I would see that. When it was over, the humans stood among the corpses, panting, bloodied, grinning with teeth bared like wolves. One of them turned, visor spattered crimson, and looked at us. "Don't be afraid," he said, his voice muffled. "We're here to help." But none of us could move. None of us could speak. We had prayed for saviors. Earth had sent us monsters. Campaign weeks passed. The humans spread across our world, carving into Dominion strongholds with unstoppable ferocity. They did not negotiate. They did not take prisoners. When asked what their orders were, one officer replied bluntly, "Extinction protocol. The Carth don't stop unless you break them." So, we break them. I traveled with them forced by circumstance. I had been a healer before the occupation, and the humans needed someone who understood our physiology. Their medics were terrifying, efficient, cold, but they lacked knowledge of alien bodies. So, I patched up the wounded, both my people and theirs, while trying to reconcile what I was seeing. The humans fought not only with weapons, but with a darkness inside them. They seemed to thrive on violence, almost to enjoy it. They shared stories around fires of battles fought on their own world, wars that had scarred continents, conflicts where brother had slaughtered brother. They had learned to fight long before they had learned to fly. I remember asking one of them, a young soldier named Reyes, how they could keep going, how they could face such horrors without breaking. He looked at me with tired eyes. "Because we already broke," he said. "Earth made us that way. Shadows of mercy." And yet there was something else, something that didn't fit the image of monsters. Between battles, when the blood cooled and the silence returned, I saw the humans act differently. They shared food with starving children. They rebuilt walls around shattered villages. Not because it was part of their mission, but because they couldn't bear to see people unprotected. I watched one soldier, a towering brute who had snapped a Carth's spine with his hands hours earlier, gently place a flower crown on a little girl's head. They were contradictions, beasts in war, caretakers in peace. It was during one of these lulls that the commander, Captain Hawk, spoke to me directly. "You're afraid of us," he said one night as I dressed his wounds. He hesitated. Yes, he didn't flinch. Good. Fear keeps you alive. But don't mistake us. We don't want to be here. We'd rather be home. The only reason we fight this hard is because we know what happens if we don't. The Carth won't stop. Neither will we. His eyes, hard as steel, softened for just a moment. We are what the galaxy made us, not saviors, not heroes, just the monsters you need. Turning the tide with Earth soldiers leading the way, everything changed. The Carth, who had ruled with terror for centuries, began to retreat. Entire garrisons vanished, wiped out overnight by human strike teams. Rumors spread across the galaxy. The Dominion was faltering, not because of fleets or politics, but because of Earth, and the galaxy watched. Allies who had once bowed to the Carth began to rise. Emboldened by the human savagery, resistance cells lit up like sparks on a dry plain. The humans had unleashed something far larger than themselves. But victory came at a cost. I saw humans fall in battle, their bodies broken, their comrades howling like grieving wolves. They buried their dead with rituals both brutal and tender, drinking to their memory, carving their names into steel, swearing vengeance for each loss. One night, after a bloody siege, I found Ray sitting alone, staring at his hands. "They call us monsters," he said softly. "Do you believe that?" I wanted to lie. I wanted to comfort him. But the truth clawed its way out. "Yes, but you're our monsters." He gave a broken smile. "Good enough." The last stand. The final battle on my world came in the form of a Dominion dreadnought, descending from orbit like a vengeful god. Its weapons could level continents. Our people despaired, but the humans only grinned. "Biggest prey yet," Captain Hawk muttered. They boarded it, not with fleets, not with negotiations, but with drop pods slamming into its hull like meteors. I was dragged along, tending the wounded as they carved a path through the corridors. The Dominion unleashed horrors, Genoforged abominations, plasma storms, entire legions of war machines. The humans tore through them. Some died, many were maimed. But they kept going like nothing could stop them. I will never forget the sight of Hawk standing at the dreadnought's core, his armor shattered, blood dripping from his mouth as he planted the charges that would end it.